Greetings and welcome back to the Road to the Great Canadian Open Winter 2026. My name is Clarence and this is my video series as you follow me as I paint up my Brotherhood Without Banners army 1 hour a day, 1 day at a time. We are approaching the end game, but before we talk about that, let's talk about why I'm doing this video series. This video series is really meant to inspire you, to help you paint up your army as well. It's meant to show you that if you just put in a little bit of time on a regular basis, over the days and the weeks and the months as they pass, you will also get an army done. I'm projecting to get this done around 80 hours of work, perhaps 85 hours of work. Let's just say 90 hours of work, which is roughly 1 hour for 3 months. That might sound like a lot of time, but when it's done forever. And you know, that's a very good feeling that you can always come back and have a fully painted force. And 3 months really flies, you know, so it's really not that bad once you get started. But the key is to get started. The key is to start somewhere. I'm using a technique called Slapchop. I've got a link in the description box below. It's a fairly easy technique. Does not require a lot of skill. The only thing you really need to be able to do is just be neat. Make sure colors get on the right spot. And even I am messy sometimes, and I have to go back with a little wraithbone, a little bit of white to touch things up. It is what it is. If we all paint our armies will look better, the tabletop will look better, the game will look better, and it'll be more fun for everybody, and more importantly, maybe it will attract more eyes to the game and make the game a bigger game. So with that, let's talk about my tournament. So I'm running a tournament on January 10th and 11th, 2026 in the wintertime. It's being hosted by the TGX event, which is the Gaming Expo run by Lionel Miranda. It'll be held in Mississauga, Ontario at the Small Arms Building. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you are in the GTA, if you're from outside the GTA, Kingston, Ottawa, Gatineau, if you're from Montreal, Quebec, if you're from Kitchener-Waterloo, London, Windsor, if you're from up north, Barrie, North Bay, Sudbury, etc., please buy a ticket, come on down and join us. It's gonna be an awesome time. Tickets have already started to sell, and we project to sell out for sure by the time the event rolls around. So don't be late. Don't regret not making it down. Buy those tickets, and we'll see you there with my Brotherhood. With that, let's take a look at where we're at and where we're going.
And here we are with our very last two models. Everything else has been painted. It's just down to these two attachments. On the left, we've got Edric Dane, and on the right, we've got Gendry. So, surprising thing, Edric Dane also appears in the Martell faction, and it's literally the same guy. So, I went up looking at his Wikipedia, and it turns out that Edric Dane has been squiring for Beric Dondarrion, which is why he's with the Brotherhood Without Banners. He actually spends, as far as I know, 0 time in Dorne during the story, so I don't know why the Martells get him, even though, of course, he is a member of House Dane, which do serve the Martells. But in the actual story, he's never there, so really, this should be the only Edric Dane, and my buddy Jay should not be able to use him. Just kidding. Anyway, so that's Edric, and then we got Gendry with his cool bullhorn helmet. So I don't think I'm going to do anything too creative with these guys. I'm going to paint them up with greens and yellows and browns, the usual color scheme, and we'll see how it goes from there. Like, he's a blacksmith, maybe I give him like a black blacksmith's apron. He's a Martell, maybe I throw in some oranges here and there. We will see. So we'll start with Edric Dane first, and we'll come back. Each single character's been taking me about 45 minutes to paint. We may go past the hour, but it's our last two models, so we'll push through and try and get that done. So we'll come back after Edric Dane's finished. 1 hour, maybe plus, worth of work starts now. 25 minutes later, we are back, and little Edric Dane is done. He was actually pretty easy to do because there's not much to him. He's mostly this green kind of surcoat. He's a lot of armor, surprisingly, and a little bit of pants and boots, and little details. So the usual colors, Crusader flesh for the skin. He's blonde, so he's got bleach bone for hair with the Reichland flesh wash. Metal on the chest plate, the breastplate, and whatever this thing is going across his thighs. The sword blades were natural steel from AK with the null oil wash, and the gold trim along the hilt, pommel, and the trim of the whatever this thing is was done in gold from AK with the Reichland flesh wash. Pants were Basilicum gray, and the pants were boots were Wildwood. So we're done him, and we get to move on to our last model, Gendry. About 45 minutes later, we are done painting Gendry. So we knew that we wanted this front apron that goes to his back to be painted with like a black color, so we chose Basilicum gray. And then we just went with our usual Brotherhood colors. So we did green for his under tunic, we did yellow for the top part, we did Wildwood for the boots,
little bit of red there for the trim. And then all the metal bits are done with our natural steel from AK. We did the horns and the middle banding here with our gold from AK with a Reckling Flesh Wash. There's a weird little clip on his front there that I did with the gold as well. Flesh tone is golden flesh as always, and we were about to paint him blonde just by instinct, and then we remembered that he's got Robert Baratheon's dark curls, so we went with Wildwood there as well. Wildwood was also used for the handle of the blacksmith's hammer, and all the little tools got painted with the natural steel, the Nuln Oil Wash. Any straps, gloves, pouches, etc., belts were done with our snakebite leather, along with his vambraces on his forearms. And that was pretty much it. So we are actually done painting everything. However, we do have to go back and touch up Lady Caitlin, Lady Stoneheart, because I looked up her Wikipedia, and apparently after she died, her hair went white and brittle, so she does not have luscious red locks. So I'm going to quickly paint that in Ulthuan Grey, give it a black wash, and we'll be back. See you soon.
About 5 minutes later, we are done painting up Lady Stoneheart's hair. So we just went back with Ulthuan Grey to give it a base coat. Ulthuan Grey is kind of like a bluey white off color. And then after it was dry, we just put on a quick coat of Nuln Oil, so she has this straw-like brittle white hair now. So we are done, folks. Every miniature is fully painted, and we can now move on to the oil wash, and the end of the road is in sight. So thank you for watching, folks, and we actually have some bonus content for you. So battle report incoming. See you soon.
So welcome back, and we have a battle report that was recently played between Jay and I on TTS. I've mentioned it before, but TTS is Tabletop Simulator, and it is an excellent program to play Song virtually. Do message me if you want to find out more. I'll be happy to show you the ropes. So we decided to play Starks versus Martells. I wanted to play my Starks because we have a negative ELO handicap event coming up, and I wanted to practice, and Jay chose to play his Martells, and he actually went for his pretty standard Oberyn list. So we have on the Martell side, this is Sand Skirmishers with Harmon Uller and I believe Edric Dane. This is Skyreach Bowman with the Spearlord Captain for Boldness and Courage, extra shots. This is Commander Oberyn in Blackguard, and this is Sand Skirmishers with the High Hermitage Sentinel for the Pivot in March. I think he gives them Ambush as well, though it rarely kicks in. On my side, his NCUs were pretty powerful. He took Ilaria, Tyene, and Ariane. Ariane is a more recent addition who turns off attachments or unit orders, which I think his plan is to use that against Greyjoys, to turn off Commander Victarion or to turn off Sentinel, etc., etc. On my side, I took my Howland list. On my left here, I've got my Bastard Girls with Mira and a Crowningman Survivalist. This turns into a Crown unit, and she offers traps, which I love. In the middle, I've got Howland in Stark Bowman. He's naked. Below, I've got Shaggy Dog. Shaggy Dog was unlocked by these Cranogman trackers here, who have 3 attachments, Rickon, Osha, and a Survivalist. And then I've got Outriders with Britton Tully, who gives them mark target and outflank. My NCUs were Sansa, Arya, and Hand of the King, Eddard Stark. So the reason why I took this list is, Howland is actually pretty low ranked, though I think he's an excellent commander. But Starks generally have a rough matchup into Martells because Starks are usually very aggressive with Tully Cav and offensive units. And Martells have the perfect tools to stop that. They have Dune Tactics to roll your lowest dice. They have Superior Positioning to make you disorderly charge. They have Rising Temperatures to turn off tactics cards. So this army is not really based on melee offense, but based on shooting damage, chip damage from the Cranog traps. I've got Cranogman here with Cranog traps, and she's got traps as well. Howland's got cards. I think one of them's literally called Cranog traps, which does wounds if you move. So there's a lot of ways to do chip damage, and there's still some Cav pieces, the Outriders and Shaggy Dog, to do some melee damage as well. So we are playing a Dance of Dragons, and we have 3 objectives. I don't remember too much about what they do. I think the left one here is throw a vulnerable token. This one was precision in combat, and I think this one here might have been, I can't remember. It's hard to read
Maybe it's Sundering, not really sure, but it wasn't very impactful. For terrain, I won the roll, and because I have so much shooting units, I put down a palisade, and he put down a werewood to keep things open. I put down another palisade in the far right here, and he put down another werewood. We diced off, and he won the choice of side. He took that side, and I started deploying. So that was deployment, and let's see what happens after round one. So at the end of round one, kind of interesting maneuvering a little bit here. So Oberon pushed forward. Sand skirmishers are protecting his flank. He doesn't want... So there was a... I think he was thinking about maybe fading into this little pocket here. They can move 14, so they can easily redeploy. But he knew how dangerous the Bastard Girls were. I had warned Jay that my combo that I pull is using an Arya token and Bog Devil Ambush to pull off a pretty big gotcha. So once your opponent's down to his last combat activation, you can use an Arya token to move this unit, the Bastard Girls, into a sweep position if you know you've got Bog Devil Ambush, so that when they activate, you play Bog Devil Ambush, you shoot with the Bastard Girls, and then you get to charge with Charging Volley as well. Of course, it means you have to leave this unit unactivated, but with extra activations, because I'm playing 8, which is more than most people, you can usually engineer that. So it's a pretty big shock. So he didn't want to leave Oberon alone. He kept this unit to protect them. The Skyreach Bowman, unsurprisingly, went behind the palisade to, project an aura of "don't go here" or get shredded. And then the Sand Skirmishers pushed up to sort of see what they might do along the flank. In response, I did not want to get anywhere near the Skyreach Bowman, so both my archers and the Crown Dogs kind of circled away towards the left. I kept my Outriders on the right in case they pushed down, and this way I'd have both Crown Dogmen and Outriders to fight them. And then on this side here, I did not want my Bastard Girls picking up the objective, so Shaggy went to the left to grab it, and this unit is intending to maneuver around, essentially. So that's the end of round 1, and off to end of round 2. So end of round 2, we see some actions happening here. So the Skyreach Bowman realized I was not going to play any kind of game on the right side, so they redeployed into the middle to provide some extra shooting, which is good. Oberon eventually picked up the objective, but I had Crannog traps, and I had used an Arya token to maneuver this unit of archers with Howland. Howland makes them Cranogmen to be within 12. And I said, if you're going to pick up that objective, you're going to eat some wounds to do so. He took 2 wounds, and then when I shot him, he rolled terrible. He rolled 4 ones on his saves and got crippled, so he's pretty low at this point. Again, my units just started circling to the left. I knew that I'm going to converge on Oberon, essentially. And the Sand Skirmishers on the right ended up picking the objective, which meant I knew that they were not going to be a threat for us the game. This move, honestly, was a bit of a surprise for me. This unit is so dynamic, and in games past, Jay has always rediverted his archers towards this objective so that they can pick it up but still be relevant with the 12-inch range. So I was very happy that he did that, and it meant that they pretty much played no further role in the game. On the left side, Shaggy Dog was able to grab the objective, and the Bastard Girls with this swift reposition were able to charge in, but a combination of weakened tokens and such meant that they didn't do a heck of a lot of damage. I had the option to take the sword with Sansa, but I didn't want to lose Sansa. I didn't want to get the poison right away, essentially. So instead of being able to take a shot into a charge, they simply charged instead. Now, why didn't I shoot and charge? I don't remember. Or maybe I did shoot and charge. I think I did shoot and charge. I just didn't do a lot of damage because of the weakened token and maybe a secure positioning, perhaps? Or Dune Tactics. He played Dune Tactics, right. So I rolled my lowest dice. So he does have 2 objectives to my 1, which means he's leading 2-1. Over to round 3, we see that a lot has happened. So as mentioned, the Sand Skirmishers on the right flank, they are really not doing much in the game anymore. Everything's circled towards the left. What ended up happening was, through a combination of maneuvering and cunning ploy, the archers were able to put themselves in a position to shoot and kill Shaggy Dog, which they did. I did take the sword early with Arya. I decided that between Eddard, Sansa, and Arya had used 1 token. I'd rather keep Sansa to keep recycling back Howland's powerful cards. So I sacked Arya onto the sword, gave myself a free attack. I was intending to shoot with Howland into Oberyn, but he played intercept orders, and I fought the Sand Skirmishers instead. 2 attacks later from the sword and the regular attack, they got pretty crippled down to 2. They, I think, just backed off. Oh, what happened was, yes, I remember now. The Skyreach Bowman actually shot Howland when he was unactivated and killed 8, which is pretty brutal. And then they retreated, and with scout openings, they were able to kill Shaggy Dog. But in response, Oberyn was pretty crippled. He tried to back up with Crannog traps or something. He tried to back up with, like a maneuver or something like that, and I played a second Crannog trap, which dealt more wounds to him. I did some shooting, did some more wounds to him. And then the Riders used Tack Reposition and a Swift Reposition card to charge Oberyn and play Winter's Might with a vulnerable token. They were able to finish off the remaining Blackguard. Even though Jay had healed that round of Tyene and put 4 wounds back on, all the extra chip damage brought them back down again to a killable point. So we've each lost a unit. I've lost Shaggy Dog, he's lost Oberyn, and we each hold 1 objective because this one that was dropped by Shaggy Dog was not picked up. Over to round 4, what happened was Jay led, and his archers killed off my archers, but then I immediately activated the Bastard Girls, who shot, charged, and killed his Sand Skirmishers. So he's now down to 2 trays. This tray is, again, out of the game, inching 2 inches around. They did use a Cunning Ploy at one point, so they were actually useful for that sense, but this unit's not participating in the game. My Cranogs actually turned towards them to put them within trap range to reduce movement even further, and then it became really my Bastard Girls and the Outriders versus these archers. Now, because they had activated early, he shot these guys when they're unactivated, but I think with a combination of the bag or whatever, they were able to stay relatively healthy. They're also more durable than my archers were with the 4+ save. They were able to make it in and kill some guys. I also did some traps to whittle them down a little bit. So we each killed a unit, but now I'm holding 2 objectives and he's holding 1. So it's a tied game, and we can see that, I'm going to have 2 units on his 1 unit that's very squishy. This is out of the game. It's looking really good for me at this point. And in the last round, I went first. I took a shot with a sword into the flank, killed a bunch, was not able to complete the charge because they only moved 2. He might have healed or something. Oh no, he retreated. But I played Bog Devil Ambush, which gave me a shot, which finished them off. So because I killed them, I grabbed 2 objectives, he knows this unit's out of the game, we called the game there. So it was, I think, a very different game for Jay, because he's not very familiar with Howland's cards. Howland is such a fun Star Commander. Most Star Commanders, Great John, Eddard, are more like combat-based, but Howland is just tricks. He's full of movement tricks, chip damage, and he just gives you a very, very different tool in your toolbox. So I'm actually pretty shocked he's rated so low. I really like Howland. And I think into Martells in particular, you need a guy like Howland who's going to give you the tools that a traditional Stark list does not have. Most Stark lists just smash your head against things. Martells are very good against that, so having the extra chip damage, the shooting-orientated lists, makes a big difference. So that's the game, folks. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll see you soon for the last couple episodes. So keep the faith. See you next time. Bye-bye.